Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. Happy Juneteenth to you as well if you have the day off. Federal holiday, kind of nice there. But generally speaking, we're looking at traditional markets being closed. Therefore, we might not see a tremendous amount of volume or volatility here today. It just really depends on how things go, of course, in the overall sense of things. But either way, just so you know, it is a holiday today, so kind of a slower market than usual for Monday, right? So if you're new to the channel, keep in mind I love to teach people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. We're going to take a look on the back end here at some level 2 data for high block capital, kind of see what's going on over the weekend, and then of course take a look at some open interest positions as well. Last but not least, of course, if you are not currently part of our community, we've got an awesome special going on right now. Reference our website, cryptocash.tech, for information on our new day trades and swing trade features within our community. So what we want to look at first, obviously, is probably some high block capital data, kind of see what's going on here. We can see volume dissipating, of course, throughout the weekend. Makes sense. It's a weekend, right? Today, even though it is a Monday, being a holiday, we're not seeing a lot of volume. So not a lot really going on. We can see not a lot of liquidations here, essentially the last 48 hours. Price has kind of gone stagnant for a little while ever since that increase on Friday to blast from low 25s or mid 25,000 to 26, 27 range. So it's kind of nice to be able to see the price action wake up there and hold that price point. We're going to see if this is going to still continue to maintain itself. As we can see, of course, here, not a lot of whale activity. There are more longs closing than opening in the last 48 hours as well. And then, of course, shorts are closing here today as well. So it's probably one of those things where just kind of a holiday weekend, not a lot going on. Wouldn't worry too much about that. The back end data is kind of boring, for lack of better terms. But what we want to look at is the net longs here. Let's see where they're at. They're pretty much break even for their position. So in other words, they're open at 26,400. We'll probably see a very similar scenario here for the shorts as well. Pretty much break even for the most part, but some of them got a little scared when the price waked up. The price came back down. So bottom line is there's not a lot to say here on the backside here with some of that information, rather basically telling us that not a lot's going on. But let's see what's going on in the charts here with the larger picture. Kind of work our way down, because if we look at the moving averages, we can see that, of course, we're still below the 50-day simple moving average. I mentioned that yesterday. It's an important thing to get above if and when we want to break free. We are working in this descending trend as well. So as you can tell, the price action continuing down with that. So we really need to be able to consolidate here and leg up and close somewhere in the 27,000 range or higher, I think, to have any kind of leg to stand on. But right now, you can still expect the price to come down based on that sentiment. Okay, just kind of the way it goes. All right, so take a look at the RSI. This is an important thing here. We've gotten rejected many times in the recent past here at 50 in the RSI. We're trying to do the same thing. Keep this in mind, though. Money flow index is increasing, and our price is trying to retest that level. It's a good sign in the overall sense of being able to try to break through that level. The only ominous sign here is that we can see here with stochastic RSI, we are a bit on the overextended side. We could see that shift in momentum. Perhaps it's a capitulation moment where the price action is not willing to go any further. But we kind of want to assume that is the case, considering the simple fact that we have this resistance based on the descending trend, and we still have yet to establish higher highs. Okay? We have created consistently lower highs, and that is effectively a bearish sign. So we need to break free from that, right? And if we take a look at this most recent high, 27,200, a close above 27.2 would effectively give us that. Okay, we're not there yet, but something to think about. Take a look at the MACD also. We're converging here in the MACD, which is nice. Just letting us know we have some good momentum. Keep in mind, this is a weekend MACD convergence, so not exactly the strongest, but it does effectively give us understanding that we are kind of on the right side of tracks there, albeit still rejecting out at that resistance range between 26,500 and 26,900. So again, not fantastic, but slightly better than not. Okay, 4-hour time frame tells us a different story here altogether. Let's go ahead and take a look at the MACD. We can see we're diverging here on the MACD. Typically that's not a great sign, but you can see it's not strong by any stretch. We just had this strong 4-hour candle, and the price is slowly held above that level at 26,400. So as I mentioned yesterday, 26.4 is a key level there to be able to hold, because that's essentially the most recent high, turned new low, and we should be able to see that maintain itself. But again, if we do lose that level, 0.5, somewhere in the 25.8 range would make sense for a bouncing point. Okay, but this makes a lot more sense for the price to hold where it's at and go higher from here, because again, we're consolidating nicely here. We have this nice little ascending type of pattern, and I think this is ultimately looking positive regardless of the MACD divergence. Keep in mind, we are still holding above 50 in the RSI. Money flow index is coming out in the most recent time frame, so in essence, this being a holiday weekend, not really a big deal, but it is telling us here that we're above a key level support for the moment. So heaven forbid we drop down to this 26,000 range. we're going to still be in pretty good shape to be able to hold above that level. So I think losing 26,000 would be a different story altogether. We'll have that conversation later if that happens. For right now, though, taking a look at the hourly, we can see that we are looking above the cloud, but kind of still within, right? So in other words, that's kind of what I talked about yesterday, and the fact that, if you have a long position open, maybe consider trimming your position to ensure that you've taken some profits. Maybe leave some of it open, of course, because we're still traveling above the cloud here. But again, if we don't make a move here soon and break above 26.4, then we're going to be in a situation where we're going to naturally be below the cloud, and the price is going to come down from there. So again, not fantastic, but not terrible, I guess, if you will. It's better to be on this side of the tracks here for the cloud, but in time, we may inevitably be below that, losing that momentum and essentially shifting that direction from ascending to descending, okay? Again, we'll bridge that gap when we get there, but for right now, we're kind of still in decent shape. TD sequential isn't telling us too much, so honestly, at this point, no trade is good trade, I would say, for lack of better terms, but I'm still feeling slightly more bullish than bearish, based on the fact that we've held this level fairly well. Yes, it is a weekend, but it's also, one of those scenarios where, take a look at the, CME gap, for example. That was filled just recently. Okay? So even though we gapped up a little bit over the weekend, we've since filled that gap and we're consolidating there nicely. Okay? A lot of times when you see that consolidation at the lower part of the gap, that's a good sign to be able to hold. But once more, this being a weekend, I wouldn't get too excited about these things, because I think at this point, we just kind of want to be patient and kind of see what happens when the market movers start moving some things here. And that'll probably be later today, honestly. So if you're over in the States, sometime around between 5 and 7 p.m. Pacific, you'll notice that the Eastern market's open and Asia just wreaks havoc either up or down. Statistically speaking, Asia has been selling off a lot more than buying on Mondays, which in turn would be Tuesday for us due to the holiday, right? So just keep in mind, there's a good chance we might see some kind of movement from them once the market opens on their side of the world, okay? So again, for right now, fairly stagnant, not a whole lot going on, but that's mainly because we are in a holiday weekend. So happy Juneteenth to you, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you all in the next video, and thanks again for your time. Oh, one last thing, quick favor before you go. If you wouldn't mind, help us follow, like, retweet, the whole 9 yards there over on Twitter. Cash Trading is our new handle there. We're just kind of starting that off here kind of from scratch. So it's really cool to be able to kind of interact with the community and kind of keep you guys abreast on news, fundamentals, both technical and data. It's really nice to be able to have that feature. So be sure to jump along there. Greatly appreciate your support. Thanks again for joining me here. Have a great rest of your day. See you soon.